Alright guys, welcome to my mini guide on the Poison Nova Necro. Now, there are a lot of really fun builds in this game. This happens to be one of my favorite though. And there's one specific reason that I really enjoy running this build, and it is for pit runs. It absolutely tears pit runs apart. Now, something like an H-din or like a Hork Barb, aka a Find Item Barb, they're fantastic for killing, the elite mobs and then moving on, right? They're not going to clear the entire map. This build is great for clearing the entire map. So your chance for high runes are going to be a little bit better, things like that, of that nature. So anyways, without further ado, let's get a little bit into the build and I'll kind of show you what's going on. I'm actually going to start on the Merc, and if I don't, I'll probably forget to actually show it to you. But we got a Fortitude. This isn't a particularly great one, but it's good enough, man. If you don't have that, a Treachery is a fantastic option in like an F base. If you don't have that, a Duriel Shell, a Vampire Gaze. This is what I prefer, and the reason that I prefer this is because I hate babysitting my Merc. And so I like having the damage reduction from Vamp Gaze on my Merc. And then, of course, it's got Lifesteal, a bunch of defense, all that good stuff. I have an F Thresher Insight. You do not have to use Insight. In fact, it's actually pretty unnecessary. I'm in lazy mode, man. I just want to farm pits over and over again, talk to my stream chat, kick it. So I don't want to have to worry about my mana. Therefore, I like using Insight, and I don't really need much damage from my Merc. And I will show you that in just a little bit. So Insight is a really great option for you, man. And you should be able to get an Insight even if it's not in an F Thresher. Another great option if you don't have Vamp Gaze, in Dariel's Visage, that's going to be for a higher damage. If you don't have that, if you want to go even cheaper, you could go with Talrash's Mask. This is one of my favorite lower level helms that you can throw on a Merc, man. Lifesteal, life, defense, all res. It's just a really great option on a lower level Merc. But anyway, let's get into the gear, guys. We got a Hodo. Now, the reason that I am using a Hodo is for, well, there's several reasons, but the main reason is I do not have Death's Web. It is technically the second rarest item in the game. It has loads of minus res to poison damage. It has plus skills. It has faster cast rate. When I get it, I will actually probably end up using it, of course, but I will drop down in my faster cast rate. I am at the 125 max faster cast rate, so this is a fast build, right? We're going for speed. As you can see, I only have 284 magic find. It's not super heavy, but I can kill things very fast. There's that important ratio that you need to take into account where you kill things fast versus a lot of magic find. You don't want to sacrifice too much damage for magic find. It never ends up well, and trust me, man, I find GG shit all the time, dude. Just trust me on this one. Don't have boatloads of magic find at the expense of your damage. So that's just one thing that I would recommend. On swap, you're going to want to have your CTA. If you don't have that, that's okay. You can probably end up getting it through lower Karast runs, trades. It's basically an Ohm Malist. It's 2 mid runes and a high rune, right? So it can take a little time to get, but no biggie, man. Harlequin Crest Shaco. It's just best in slot, honestly. Magic find, damage reduction, life, mana, plus the skills, plus the attributes. It's just a great. The only way it could be better is if it had res on it, but, beggars can't be choosers, right? It's a relatively common item. It could take some people, a lot of runs to get it, but you will get it, man, if you farm enough. Now, this is a little bit trickier piece to explain. This is a crafted amulet, obviously. It's a decently good one. It only has single res. It happens to be fire res, which is the best. Holy Bolt on there is completely useless. But it has, in the mana, I don't really care about the mana. The faster cast rate, 2 to skills, fire res. That's what I care about. The reason is because Spirit has cold, lightning, poison res. It does not have fire res. So that supplements that fire res that we're missing from Spirit. You could use a Mara's here. You could use like a yellow 10% faster cast rate amulet, a rare, right? You could use a blue faster cast rate. You could use nothing with faster cast rate. There's a lot of options here. And like I said, you don't have to run the 125 faster cast rate. I just prefer to because it's fast. Enigma. This is obviously the hardest piece on here to get. It just takes time. There's no way around it. It is best in slot. It provides mobility. It provides damage. It provides damage reduction. Magic Find. It's just busted, right? We all know it. It's a busted item, but it is best in slot. Best in slot. If you don't have this, a Trang's Chest would be pretty good, right? A Viper Magi would even be decent. A Duress, you could make a Duress for pretty cheap. A Smoke, I mean, there's a lot of options that you could go for here. You just won't be able to teleport, obviously. But it is best in slot, no question. Spirit, and then again Spirit for buffing your CTA. War Travs. Now the reason that I use these is because this build doesn't particularly have a ton of Magic Find. You're going to want to try and get Magic Find in where you can. If you can't get War Travs, or if they're low rolling War Travs, like if they rolled 32 or something like that, what would probably be better are some yellow booties that have res on them in Magic Find. Generally, you can find those in a decent amount of time. They're not too hard to come by. To get really GG rare boots that have like tri-res Magic Find, Run Walk, or even faster hit recovery, very hard to get though. So I particularly like War Travs. They're not too insanely hard to get, and they provide a lot of Magic Find, strength, vitality, all that good stuff, faster Run Walk, etc. So Stone of Jordan, of course, you don't have to use this. You could use a faster cast rate ring instead of here, right? You could use whatever rare rings that you like that provide like mana, life, faster cast rate. But yeah, Stone of Jordan and is pretty much best in slot. The reason that I'm using a BK, you don't actually get the life stolen per hit from your Poison Nova, but you do get it from your minions. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive that you do get it from your minions. So this is viable. This is obviously an awful roll. 3% life stolen is the worst roll, but it's the only one I got, so that's what I'm using. I do actually have another Stone of Jordan, so I could throw it in there. But I'm kind of liking this combo, to be honest. And I like the plus life as well. So that's just my personal choice. You don't have to do that yourself. Again, rare rings can go in here too. Arachnid's Mesh, no question, best in slot. If you don't have this, you could use Verdungo's Hardy Cord. That's a good option for damage reduction. You could go Gold Wrap for Magic Find. You could go... what's another good option? You could go String of Ears if you wanted tons of damage reduction. There's just pretty much whatever you like here is going to be just fine. You know, anything that has Magic Find is a bonus. You could even go like a Tal's belt here, Tal Rasha belt here. It's really up to you, man. But honestly, Arachnid's Mesh, I know it can be a little tricky to find at first, but it's best in slot, no question. I have like 4 of them at this point. You can find them, I promise. You just got to keep farming it out. Keep killing stuff, boys. Triangles, Claws, Heavy Bracers. There's just nothing better here. 25% to poison skill damage. On top of that, faster cast rate. On top of that, plus the curses. And on top of that, cold res. There's just nothing better. They're very easy to find. You can farm Mephisto for like probably an hour or 2 and find these. There's no excuse for not getting these. Just get them. They're best in slot, no question. Okay, I guess we'll move down. Of course, a Torch. This is not like a super GG one, but it's good enough. And Annie, of course, you're going to want Poison Skillers. If you can't, just maybe stick more res, more life, more Magic Find, you know, small charms. Just stick what you can in here if you can't get the Skillers yet. But, you know, you really want Skillers. You want that plus damage. Geeds, of course, this is 3814 Geeds, pretty good one. And then just some small charms to fill out res if you can. I am max res, like an all res 5% Magic Find. That's a pretty GG charm though. So anyway, man, let me show you how to do this build and how we do it. But before we get going on our clear, I'm going to go ahead and show you the skill tree. I'll start in summoning because this is kind of our tankiness. This is how we get our tankiness, right? I did mention that we don't have a super high faster hit recovery. We're not running max block, so we're gonna want some tankiness, right? And this is how we get it. We get it 1 point skeleton mastery, 1 point raise skeleton, 1 point raise skeletal mage, just to get down to revive. We're gonna revive before we do our pit run. That way, we're gonna have lots of bodies around us, and it's gonna give us basically, I mean, almost infinite block because we're going to have like 30 bodies around us, Archers are going to have a hard time hitting us. Things aren't going to be able to walk up to hit us very easily. So it's just an extremely good tankiness factor. But yeah, anyway, one into Clay Golem, one into Blood Golem, one into Iron Golem. That's just to get down to revive. I don't even use golems, honestly. You can if you want. I don't find it's necessary, though. You're going to want to go one into Golem Mastery, one into Summon Resist. This is actually not... This part of the tree is actually not necessary, technically. I just like having that one point in there to just buff up my revives more. But that's about it, man. So this is our main damage tree, obviously. One into Teeth, one into Corpse Explosion, which we actually do use Corpse Explosion to get some end kill damage, and I'll show you what I mean by that later. And then Max Poison Dagger, Max Poison Explosion, and of course Max Poison Nova. On to Curses, 1 point to Amp Damage, 1 point to Weaken, 1 point to Iron Maiden, 1 point Terror, 1 point Life Tap, 1 point Decrepify, 1 point Lower Resist. It's basically just to get down to Lower Resist. We get... If you think of it in the reversed way, it's minus 65% all resist. And that's where I personally have it. I have a few extra points in here just to get to there. You don't have to, but if you think about it in the opposite way, it's kind of like plus 65% damage. So it's just a busted skill, man. It's really, really good. But anyway, that's the skills, and I just reset it. RIP. Anyway, I'll put it in real quick. You can see just how I do it real quick. But yeah, and actually I needed a respec anyway, so we'll go all the way down. I'm just going to put, let's see, how many do we have? I want to get up to 25 monsters. I feel like 25 monsters is a good place to be. And then 1 point to Summon Resist. That's all I'm doing. Poison and Bone, obviously, I'm going to come down here. Max Poison Nova. And I'm only 89, by the way, guys, so this is not a super unreasonably crazy high character. It's just 89. You can get a character to 89 in like a day or two if you really try. Especially if you're on BNet and you're able to do like Players 8 bail runs. So you could probably do it in a night. Anyway, then we go into Curses. Again, we just do R1 to go all the way down into lower res. I'm at 60% right, 63%. I'm actually going to keep that there for now. And then I'm going to go into Poison, or Corpse Explosion. I'm going to max Corpse Explosion now. Or get close to it anyway. So we're 2 points away from maxing that. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and do a run real quick, and I'll show you how this works. We're going to go to Outer Cloister, because this is really mainly for our pit run, right? Buff our CTA. We're going to come all the way down. I happen to have a nice big fat camp right next to our pit. Lower resist, cast your Nova, and then you can Corpse Explode if you want. Because I'm going to revive, I don't like to Corpse Explode this camp. And honestly, I don't really need to use it. For some reason, my Merc's inside is not working. There it goes. Alright, sometimes that bugs out, man. I've noticed that. Alright, here we go. So, lower resist, cast poison. Lower resist, cast poison. This is Players 8, by the way, guys. One Poison Nova. They're dead. That's what I'm saying, man. This does really good damage, and I'll show you. I'll type it in just to prove it to you. It's Players 8. So like I said, this basically kills everything, man. That's why I really like it. Really good chance for high runes, etc., etc. So this pack's a little bit tankier, so we're probably going to want to throw a few Corpse Explosions out. You don't have to, but I like to every now and then. Right, we're already halfway through the pit run. It's easy, man. Easy money. And again, as you can see, I have not used a potion. We just really don't get hit, man. We really just don't get hit very often. Unless we make a really bad TP, but because of the 125 faster cast rate, we don't really get stopped very often by mobs and stuff. I don't have key. Rip run. But anyway, man, that's an entire pit run. Just like that. I mean, that's it. It's that easy, man. It's sick damage. Players 8, no death web. No death web, man. It's sick. It's good stuff. But anyway, dude, that's the video. If you enjoyed it, man, please give me a thumbs up. If not, it's cool, dude. Give me a thumbs down. Just kidding. Don't do that. But hey, you can if you want. You can catch me streaming pretty much daily at twitch.tv/its_snugs. And you can always come kick it with me, man. Ask questions or just school me even, man. But you guys have a great night. Enjoy your week and take it easy, man. Peace out.